Reproduction is one of the fundamental characteristics of living organisms, and it involves the formation of young ones by the grown-up individuals, and it helps in maintaining continuity of species. Lifespan is the period from birth to the natural death of an organism and is not correlated with their sizes. For example, the sizes of crows and parrots are not very different, but their lifespans show great difference. Another example is of a mango tree, which has much shorter lifespan as compared to a peepal tree. There are two types of reproduction, asexual and sexual. Asexual reproduction is uniparental, that is, only one parent is involved, whereas sexual reproduction is biparental, that is, generally two parents are involved. In case of asexual reproduction, progenies are genetically identical to the parents, that is why progenies are also called clone. And in sexual reproduction, progenies differ from the parents, they show great variation, and gamete formation and fusion is not involved in asexual reproduction, whereas sexual reproduction involves formation and fusion of gametes. Unicellular organisms divide to form two daughter organisms. As such, no dead body is left, that is why these are called immortal organisms. Since sexual reproduction involves fusion of gametes from different parents, variations are observed, and variation, being a major factor of natural selection, plays an important role in evolution. Now let's discuss factors responsible for mode of reproduction. It has been observed that if conditions are favorable, then organisms reproduce asexually, and if conditions become unfavorable, organisms switch over to sexual reproduction. This is in case of organisms which can reproduce sexually as well as asexually. Now, internal physiology of organisms is another important factor. Complex organisms tend to reproduce sexually, and asexual reproduction is generally possible in organisms with simple body organization. Organisms produced by asexual reproduction are termed as clone because they are genetically identical to parent organisms. Protista includes unicellular eukaryotic organisms, and Monera includes prokaryotic organisms. Both Protista and Monera reproduce asexually by binary fission, where a cell divides to form two daughter cells. In case of Hydra and yeast, budding is observed. In Hydra, a bud grows externally on the surface of the body, which then splits away from the parent body and takes up an independent existence. In case of yeast, a bud appears on one side of the cell and then it gets separated and matures into new yeast organism. In case of sponges, we observe gammules which are called internal buds. These gammules can give rise to new organisms. In case of algae and fungi, spores are formed. Spores may be zoospores, aplanospores, and in case of Penicillium, we observe conidia, which are again asexual spores. Vegetative reproduction is the formation of new plants from vegetative units such as buds, tubers, rhizomes, etc. We can say asexual reproduction in plants is called vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagules are parts of plants which are able to produce new plants. In potato, tuber is found which has eyes, and these eyes have buds which are able to produce new plants. In agave, bulbil is found. Bulbils are modified floral buds which are able to produce new plants. In ginger, rhizome, which is a horizontal underground stem swollen for food and is able to give rise to new plants. In onion, bulb is found which is modification of stem and which has one or more buds. These buds are able to form new plants. In colocasia, corm is observed which is also swollen underground stem with circular nodes. These nodes have buds which give rise to new plants. In case of bryophyllum, leaves are able to produce new plants, and in case of water hyacinth, offsets are observed. These offsets are horizontal branches with very short internodes. Water hyacinth is an aquatic plant which is also known as terror of Bengal. This plant was introduced into India for its beautiful flowers, and this plant is the most invading weed growing in the standing water, and it spreads all over the water body in very short time. That is why it depletes oxygen and causes death of fishes. Plants have two parts, nodes and internodes. Nodes are the parts of plants which have meristematic tissues. Because of the actively dividing cells present in meristematic tissue, these parts are able to give rise to adventitious roots. Whereas adventitious roots do not arise from internodes because there are permanent cells found in internodes. Main events of sexual reproduction involve three events: pre-fertilization, which is gamete formation and gamete transfer, and fertilization, which involves fusion of male and female gametes, and post-fertilization events include cell division and cell differentiation. Life cycle of an organism involves three phases. Juvenile or vegetative phase is the pre-reproductive phase where organism grows, and we can say it is the period of growth between the birth of an individual up to reproductive maturity. In case of plants, this phase is known as vegetative phase. Second phase is reproductive phase, when organism reproduces and reproductive organs develop and mature during this phase. And then there is senescent phase, which is the phase of growing old. In case of primate organisms like monkeys, apes, and humans, there occur cyclical changes during reproductive phase, and these cyclical changes constitute menstrual cycle. Whereas in case of non-primate organisms like cows, sheep, rats, deer, etc., such cyclical changes during reproductive phase are called estrous cycle. Some plants show unusual flowering phenomena. For example, bamboo, which flowers once in its lifetime. And the second example is of Strobilanthes kunthiana, which is commonly known as Neela Kurenji. This plant flowers once in 12 years. Seasonal breeders reproduce at particular period of the year, such as frog, lizards, most birds, and deer. And continuous breeders are the animals which continue to breed throughout their sexual maturity. For example, honeybee queen, human beings, mice, cattle, etc. Gametogenesis is a pre-fertilization event which is formation of gametes. There occurs formation of two types of gametes. If gametes are morphologically similar, gametes are called isogametes, and if morphological distinction is possible between gametes, then gametes are called heterogametes. And let's discuss gamete formation in haploid and diploid organisms. If parent organism is haploid, then gametes are formed by mitotic division, and if parent organism is diploid, then gametes are formed by meiotic division. Myocytes are gamete forming cells. Since these cells divide by meiosis, these cells are diploid cells and gametes are formed as a result of meiosis. That is why gametes are haploid in nature. Parthenogenesis is development of an egg into a complete individual without fertilization. Parthenogenesis is observed in many invertebrates such as rotifers, insects, bees, beetles, ants. Parthenogenesis is observed in some vertebrates also, like some lizards and some birds. Number of male gametes is several thousand times more than the number of female gametes. This is because most of the male gametes fail to reach the female gametes. And to compensate the loss of male gametes, large number of male gametes are produced. When fertilization occurs outside the body of the organism, the gamete fusion is called external fertilization. It generally occurs in aquatic organisms, and common examples are algae, fishes, and amphibians. And if fusion of gametes occurs inside the body of the female, fertilization is called internal fertilization, and this is observed in higher animals such as reptiles, birds, and mammals. Egg-laying organisms are called oviparous organisms. These organisms lay fertilized or unfertilized eggs, whereas animals giving birth to young ones are called viviparous organisms, for example, human beings. In flowering plants, double fertilization occurs, which produces a diploid zygote and a triploid primary endosperm nucleus. Zygote forms the embryo, and the triploid primary endosperm cell gives rise to a nutritive tissue called endosperm. Endosperm provides food to the growing embryo, and fertilized ovules mature and convert into seeds. The wall of the ovary forms the pericarp, which is also known as fruit wall, and the ripened ovary with pericarp and seeds is called fruit. The pericarp protects the young seeds, and after dispersal the seeds germinate to form new plants.